Chapter 14 of Shambhala, the sacred path of the warrior. Overcoming arrogance. When you are fully gentle, without arrogance or without aggression, you see the brilliance of the universe. You develop a true perception of the universe. In the last chapter, we discussed ways to invoke the Drala principle. In this and the next chapter, we are going to discuss the obstacles to invoking Drala, which must be overcome before we can master the disciplines of invoking external, internal, and secret Drala. One of the important points in invoking Drala is to prepare a ground of gentleness and genuineness. The basic obstacle to gentleness is arrogance. Arrogance comes from hanging on to the reference point of me and other. You may have studied the principles of warriorship and Great Eastern Sun vision, and you may have received numerous teachings on how to rest in nowness and raise your wind horse. But if you regard those as your personal accomplishment, then you are missing the point. Instead of becoming gentle and tamed, you could become extremely arrogant. I, Joe Smith, am able to raise wind horse, and I feel good about that. I am beginning to accomplish something, so I am a big deal. Being gentle and without arrogance is the Shambhala definition of a gentleman. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, one of the definitions of a gentleman is someone who is not rude, someone whose behavior is gentle and thoroughly trained. However, for the warrior, gentleness is not just politeness. Gentleness is consideration, showing concern for others all the time. A Shambhala gentlewoman or gentleman is a decent person, a genuine person. He or she is very gentle to himself and to others. The purpose of any protocol or manners or discipline that we are taught is to have concern for others. We may think that if we have good manners, we are such good girls or good boys. We know how to eat properly and how to drink properly. We know how to behave properly, and aren't we smart? That is not the point. The point is that if we have bad table manners, they upset our neighbors, and in turn, our neighbors develop bad table manners, and they in turn upset others. If we misuse our napkins and our silverware because we are untrained, that creates problems for others. Good behaviors is not meant to build us up so that we can think of ourselves as a little princess or princesses. Little prince or princesses. The point of good behavior is to communicate our respect for others. So we should be concerned with how we behave. When someone enters a room, we should say hello or stand up and greet them with a handshake. Those rituals are connected with how to have more consideration for others. The principles of warriorship are based on training ourselves and developing self control so that we can extend ourselves to others. Those disciplines are important in order to cultivate the absence of arrogance. We tend to think that the threats to our society or to our self are outside of us. We fear that some enemy will destroy us. But a society is destroyed from the inside, not from an attack by outsiders. We may imagine the enemy coming with spears and machine gun to kill us, massacre us. In reality, the only thing that can destroy us is within ourselves. If we have too much arrogance, we will destroy our gentleness. And if we destroy gentleness, then we destroy the possibility of being awake. And then we cannot use our intuitive openness to extend ourselves in situations properly. Instead, we generate tremendous aggression. Aggression desecrates the ground altogether. Altogether. The ground that we are sitting on, the walls around you, the ceiling and windows and doorways. In turn, you have no place to invite the dralas to come in. The space becomes like an opium den, then thick and heavy, and the dralas say, "Yuck! Who wants to go in there? Who's inviting us? Who's invoking us with their deception? They won't come along at all." When the room is filled with you and your trip, no sensible person is attracted to that space. Even you aren't. When the environment is stuffy and full of arrogant, self-styled men and women, the dralas are repelled. But then, what happens if a warrior, someone who embodies non-aggression, freedom from arrogance and humbleness, walks into that room? When such a person enters an intense situation full of arrogance and pollution, quite possibly the occupants of the room begin to feel funny. They feel that they can't have any fun and games anymore because someone who won't collaborate in their deception has walked in. They can't continue to crack setting sun jokes or indulge and sprawl on the floor. So usually they will leave. The warrior is left alone sitting in that room. But then, after a while, a different group of people may walk in, looking for a fresh room, a clean atmosphere. They begin to assemble gentle people who smile without arrogance or aggression. The atmosphere is quite different from the previous setting sun gathering. It may be slightly more rowdy than in the opium den, but the air is cheerful and fresh. Then there is the possibility that the dralas will begin to peek through the doors and the windows. They become interested, and soon they want to come in, and one by one they enter. They accept food and drink, and they relax in that atmosphere because it is pure and clean. Because that atmosphere is without arrogance, the dralas begin to join in and share their great sanity. When the warrior student experiences an environment where the dralas are present, where reality is present, where the possibility of sanity is always there, they can appreciate the mountains, clouds, sky, sunshine, trees, flowers, brooks, the occasional cries and laughter of children. That is the main point of invoking Drala, to appreciate reality fully and properly. Arrogant people can't see intensely bright red and blue, brilliant white and orange. Arrogant people are so involved with themselves and they are competing so much with others that they won't even look. When you are fully gentle, without arrogance and without aggression, you see the brilliance of the universe. You develop a true perception of the universe. You can appreciate green, nicely shaped blades of grass, and you can appreciate a stripped grasshopper with a tinge of copper color and black antenna. It is so beautiful sitting on a plant. As you walk towards it, it jumps off the plant. Little things like that are not boring sights, they are new discoveries. Every day you see something different things. When I was in Texas a few years ago, I saw thousands of grasshoppers. Each one of them had its own approach, and they were stripped with all sorts of color. I didn't see any purple ones, but I saw copper, green, beige, and black ones with occasional red spots on them. The world is very interesting wherever you go, wherever you look. Whatever exists in our world is worth experiencing. Today, perhaps, there is a snowfall. There is snow sitting on the pine trees, and we can watch as the mountains catch the last rays of sun above their deep iron blue foreground. When we begin to see details of that nature, we feel that the Drala principle is there already. We can't ignore the fantastic situations in the phenomenal world. We should actually take the opportunity, seize it on the spot. Invocation of the Drala principle comes from that fascination that we have and that we should have without arrogance. We can appreciate our world, which is so vivid and so beautiful. End of chapter 14.